Today we are going to talk about the second topic of living things, animals. Okay, the previous topic was plants. Animal is a pretty important topic this year because there's another topic that's linked to animals, which is life cycle. And then both animals and life cycle is one of the bigger topics in P3. After that, there won't be any more animals related topic in P5 and P4. The next animal related topic will be P6 lah, adaptations. Okay, but however, this topic is very important because even for PSLE, sometimes they do tests on life cycle, and as I've mentioned earlier, life cycle is related to animals topic. Both is being taught this year. Okay, so there are three main groups of living things: plants, animals, and decomposer. Again, I need to recap with you what is the characteristic of living things and how do we know that animals is living things. Basically, there are four characteristics of living things. Okay, you are supposed to have memorized it by now lah. And animals have these four characteristics. That's why they are considered living things. Okay, first they grow. For example, a kitten will become a cat, a puppy will become a dog. They reproduce. So they'll lay eggs or they'll give birth and then have their young, so they reproduce. Okay, animals do that. Respond to changes. That means if something happens around them, they will react to it. Okay, so for example, if you try to chase after a cat, you will run away. Or when they sense any form of danger or their predator is going after them, they will also try to escape. Okay. They all need air, food, and water. All animals need to breathe, all of them need to feed on something, and all of them need to drink. That's why animals is considered living things. Okay, so just like plants, we classify plants into flowering, non-flowering, land, and water, right? So animals, we can also classify it in different ways. Okay, there are a few ways to classify animals, so let's look at it. You can classify them based on their size, whether they are big or small. So for example, elephant, whales, they are animals that are pretty big, and then insects are usually smaller in size. Okay. Color, whether or not they have only one color or they have many colors. The food they eat, some animals only feed on plants, some animals only feed on meat, some animals feed on both meat and plants. Okay, the way they move, okay, for example, whether they fly, they swim, or they crawl. Okay, the number of legs they have, like for example, fishes have no legs. Okay, chicken has 2 legs, and then cows has 4 legs. Insects have 6 legs. Okay, insects like for example, butterfly, cockroach. Okay, where they live, whether they live on land, water, or maybe both. Okay, their outer covering. Okay, yeah, outer covering, I'll talk about it more later. The way they reproduce, whether they lay eggs or give birth. Okay, and then the last one is animal groups. So actually, this chapter will focus a lot on animal groups. That means scientists actually group animals into 6 main groups. Okay, we'll look into these 6 groups on another video, because actually, like I told you, animal chapter is one of the bigger chapter this for P3. So I split it up into 2 videos, and then the next video will look into all the 6 different kind of animal groups and why they are grouped into these 6 groups. Okay. However, although there are 9 more than 9 actually, but these are the few ways that you can group animals, classify animals. But usually during exam, okay, during exam they will usually only test you based on these 3 ways of classification. They usually ask you to group animal based on their outer covering and how they reproduce, or the animal groups, which I'll talk about on the next video lah. Okay, sometimes they do test on this, but very rarely. Okay, maybe more often it's the number of legs and where they live, whether land or water. So just now I was telling you all, animals can either feed on plants, other animals, or both, right? Okay, for animals that feed on plant, in primary school level we call them plant eater lah. But actually there's a scientific term called herbivore. Okay, if you are interested in remembering, you can just think of herbs as plants. So herbivore feeds on plant. Okay, so a lot of animals actually feed purely on plants. Okay, so a few common examples: your cow, a giraffe, your deer. Okay, so if an animal feeds on other animals, it's called an animal eater. Okay, and then some animals feed on both plant and animal. Okay, animal eater is known as carnivore, and then animal who feeds on both plant and animal is called omnivore. Again, you will not be tested in primary school, not even in your PSLE for their scientific name. You can just remember them as plant eater, animal eater, or plant and animal eater. Okay, no need to remember herbivore, carnivore, or omnivore. Okay. Okay, so there are a number of ways animals move. So these are the few more common ways lah. So they fly, they walk, they hop. Okay, like for example, rabbit, kangaroo. Okay, crawling, slithering, swimming. I want to just focus more on crawling and slithering lah. Actually, they seems quite similar, but the main difference is for crawling involve animals that have legs usually. Okay, so uh, when you have legs you crawl, but if you don't have legs like the snake, then you slither lah. Okay, with your body part you slide left and right to move forward. So that's the main difference lah. Another way you can classify animals is where they live, okay, which is known as a habitat. Okay, you know this word habitat. Okay, so for example, the habitat of a lion is grassland, the habitat of a whale is sea, is the ocean. Okay, so you can actually classify habitat into three main groups lah. Okay, the first one is land. Okay, a lot of animals live on land lah. For example, your cats and dog. Okay, simple example. Then some animals that only live in water. Although we always think that only fishes live in water, but it's actually not true. There are some animals that are not fish that also live in water. For example, your dolphin, your whale, your seal, they also live in water, but they are actually not fish. Why they are not fish is because they have gills, but we'll talk more about it in the next video. Okay, or some animals actually live on both land and water. Okay, your frogs, your salamander, your penguin. Okay, mostly amphibians is the one that live in both land and water lah. But again, I'll talk about amphibian in detail on the next video. There are a few different kind of outer covering. So the first one is hair or fur. Okay, so the purpose of having hair or fur is to protect animals from injury as well as to keep them warm. How I manage to keep them warm is because this you don't need to know this, but I'll just briefly tell you. So it's because hair or fur, they traps a lot of air, and air actually is a poor conductor of heat. That means the animals won't lose their body heat quickly because of the air trapped inside their fur. So that's why they are able to keep warm for a longer period of time. Then shell is hard lah, so it protects the animals from injury as well as predator. Predator is anyone that feeds on this animal. Okay, scales. Okay, the most common one is a fish lah. The fish has outer covering of scales, and they are hard, right? Okay, the fish that you eat usually already have the scales removed lah. So that's why the fish that you eat, you don't get to see the scales. Okay, but if you go to wet market, right, you can sometimes see fishes before their scales is removed. You can go and touch them. It actually feels very hard. So scales is to protect the animal from injury as well as their predator. Okay, feather. Same thing. Feather also traps air, so it keeps the animal warm. It also allows the animal to create a very big body part called the wings. Okay, usually body parts that's very big, is very heavy, but because feather it's very light, that's why when it creates your wing, right, the animal can still fly. Okay, but of course there are some birds they cannot fly anymore because they are too heavy, like for example ostrich. Actually these are just a few examples of their function. There are more than that lah. So for example, feathers, right, also can have other functions, like for example it is to attract partner. For example, peacock, they like to show off their beautiful feathers to attract their partner so that they can reproduce. Okay, dry scales. Okay, so just now we already talked about scales on fish, but for certain type of animals, right, they have scales that's dry. For example, your snake, your crocodile. So they have scales, but it's dry. And same thing, the scales is also very hard. So it protects the animal from injury and also from their predator as well. Exoskeleton is the outer covering of insect. Okay, so like the word suggests, exoskeleton meaning external skeleton. Skeleton is bones, right? Exo means outside, external means outside, so that means outside bones. So for us, for example, our bones is on the inside, okay, but for insects, right, their bones is on the outside. Okay, so that's the main difference between us and insects. So the reason why their bones is on the outside is because it's hard and it helps protect them from injury as well. Okay, there are some living things that do not have outer covering. For example, your earthworm, your frog, they don't have an outer covering, they just have skin, that's all. Okay, animals can also be classified based on the way they reproduce. Okay, so they either lay eggs or give birth. So for example, your lion, your dogs, your cats, they give birth. Okay, insects, fishes, they usually lay eggs. Okay, there are some animals that actually can do both, but very rare. For example, aphids. The aphids, I'll talk about it on the next chapter. It's a kind of insect. Okay, this is the last slide. The next video, I'll be talking about the 6 main groups of animals. Okay, so what are the 6 main groups? It's all here. Now, you would have recognized some, you would not have recognized some, it's fine. I'll explain in detail the next lesson. Okay, but for now, it will be good that you go and memorize how to spell all these 6 words first. Okay, because you need it during exam.